Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday, which for some reason had 54 minutes of footage that I could record over, and now only has 37. Not that it's going to matter, because it will just cut it to 20 eventually anyway. So, I was meant to be at a play right now, and I'm not. I was late arriving there. I've been having some very intense conversations, some sentimental conversations with Moni that didn't want to actually leave hanging. We're okay, just, stuff that needs to be talked about in general. No one's in trouble or anything. So, yeah, basically, I'm just out here in the sun for once, actually. Since I was already awake, clearing up the set from the musical that just happened. I realised that I should not go that way because it's uphill. And yes, that is correct. Siren Story the musical is over. Well, I mean, not over. I have plans for it in the future, but as far as the first performance of it goes, and my directorial contribution to it, hopefully for the rest of time, is done. In future, I will be handing it to other people to direct. So I'm just moving across these bumps here. There's something I decided to do for some reason. I thought it would be fun. It was fun. Anyways. Yeah, it's a strange feeling. I'm not showing as much relief and happiness I was before because I was, again, I was up till late, practically socializing with people, but then also trying to get after an intense conversation, and yeah, all of my recovery hours have not been completely set yet, and I don't know what the plan is for today, because it's still debatable. Like, it's one of the cast members' birthdays, and we're supposed to do something, but I never received confirmation as to where we're supposed to go. Apparently it's meant to be like, at I don't know, at 11 or something, but then 11 was when I was collecting things for the set, so again I'm very confused. And now it's green, okay. It's hard to tell, all of the lights of that portion are like out of my eye line. I don't really know. I brought my coat out because it was slightly drizzling before, I didn't want to risk it. I regret that decision now because actually it's not really doing me any favours. I'm gonna go this way. But yeah, Monday and Tuesday were those three performances. Naturally, there's plenty of other ones that have been in the festival so far, but the ones in particular, I'm going to focus on the main musical first, because that's what people probably want me to actually talk about right now. Am I relieved about it? Absolutely. Did it go as planned? Not entirely, but then again, no show ever does. All of the shows had particular issues, but the one that actually got filmed, because yes, one of them did indeed get filmed, so people at home right now, you will get to see it eventually. Because I've had some of the footage. The one that got filmed was the best one out of all of them. Not the best audience necessarily, because the audience weren't really quite into it as much as the first audience, in fact. The first audience were the best ones. I'm reviewing the audience of the play. But yeah, it was very interesting to see like the actual reactions from people. That's why I like to mingle with the audience in the intervals and such. But yeah, honestly, it was a lot of fun for everyone. There's some people actually who I've said before, said, oh yeah, I've enjoyed every single moment, or some of them just said, oh yeah, it was good. Like, I know one of the other couple's families, his family decided to say, oh yeah, it was good, like over and over again. And they all just said to us, yeah, it was good, yeah, it was good. It's the classic, we're not theatre critics, but we still enjoyed it kind of response. Which, honestly, is equally valid. I like that just as much. So I'm trying to figure out where I can actually go here, because the door I thought I could go through is sealed. Is this side blocked? No, I don't think it is. Don't know where this car's going. That door's closed as well. Oh right, it's a pay to enter, sorry. I didn't realise. Okay. Anywho, let's carry on over here. Away from the wind. Well, I mean, the wind is still going, but it's specifically at this level right here, it's not. So, fairly confident. Anyway, it was a very surreal experience for me to actually see one of my actual, life dreams come true. Because, yeah, since about 2016, I think, I've wanted to write a musical and see that musical performed. Because it kind of just clicked to me at that time. I was writing songs. I had just started writing my first play, and because at the time I wasn't really writing for stage, because I wasn't really sure how to actually go about doing that. So again, a challenge for me in this time, which I overcame. But yeah, also I was writing books, I was doing anything story related, and it just sort of clicked to me that, oh yeah, it's a thing. And I didn't at the time really, because because that's all I could do at the time in 2016. I wasn't really into my stride of writing books yet. First I'd done in about 2015 was Soundation Studio, which, if you know about that thing, it's not that good. It has a very basic set for it, and not much option depending on what BPM you're using. So that's an option for music production. Very bad idea. Much like crossing this road. I guess I'm going this way then, until I find a zebra crossing. Anyway, thing is that once I discovered, oh yeah, there's plenty of royalty-free YouTube beats and stuff that I can use, then I was all set. I mean, people know by now, I guess if you watch my channel, that originally Siren Story as a concept came around in 2020 as an animated gacha musical. It was actually supposed to be my response to the Music Freaks, which was, but for all intents and purposes, mostly a jukebox musical. It had some songs, I believe I found out later that some of the songs were actually commissioned by Rosie Closey, but overall, they tended to be ones that, yes, they kind of fit overall, but also seem to be composed for something else. It's like, with jukebox musicals, it's hard to tell sometimes, because either it's like Mamma Mia, where they write the story around the songs just to suit it, and it works like, I don't know, 60% of the time. In this case, I think the music was just, oh yeah, it's the general ballpark theme of what's going on, and then we'll work around the rest. The story is there, and it's something else entirely. You know, it's kind of like lines where I think it's the character called Xander. Again, I've watched the first 2 episodes because I want to review them blind, so I've been pacing myself there. But I think in the second episode, Xander, I believe is his name, is suspicious of Jake's reasons for joining the Music Freaks, as in what, the Music Club, sorry, they didn't call themselves Music Freaks. Yeah, they join the Music Club, and he sings the song Chase Scene, where some of the lyrics are about, yes, there's something about, oh yeah, you're not as solid as you think you are, you know, you're, I'm suspicious of you, I'm behind you, you know, like a chase scene, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that all works, and might I say the editing, spectacular for it, considering that jukebox musicals for gacha are nothing new. People have been using songs in their gachas for ages. Since the days of, you know, Dynasty, Ciao Adios, I'm Done, 1273 down the Rockefeller Street, blah, 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 all of those things, they all count. They weren't marketed like that, but they all count. And basically from there, the chase scene song carries on, and sometimes they're like weird lyrics where suddenly he's like, "I'm inside your bed" or something like that, which Aiden tried to make me do a meme out of without me understanding before I watched the episode. So the fact is, not every lyric works for its intended purpose. That's the general point I'm trying to get across here. And that's the thing with musicals that don't have songs that are written for them. I've since discovered that, yeah, parodies can actually be great for that, because honestly, why not do that? I've seen pantomimes where that's the process they do. I still remember a song, particularly "We're Still Ironing" at the Ivanano panto a few years ago. It was one of their interpretations of Cinderella, where I think the stepsisters owned like a dry cleaning business or something. Not dry cleaning one, they owned like an ironing business as well, so wash, laundromat, that kind of thing. So yeah, the party that did was like, you know, "We're still ironing better than we ever did," you know, that kind of thing. And they changed it to fit the concept of the story, and I think that works. Could have done with a bit more volume so I could hear the lyrics that they changed, but quite frankly, the same could be said for Siren Story a couple of times, because there was volume issues throughout the performances. Whether the text sound was too loud or the actors were too quiet. Again, the best one volume-wise was the one that got filmed, which is amazing. I'm so grateful that was the case. But yeah, that was the thing. Anyway, so Music Freaks, because I thought, well, this is the popular musical thing that's going on, but also Gacha Club had just come out at the time, and around that time we actually discovered that, oh yes, it's much easier now to control the assets of the characters and make the assets of the characters YouTube. Before I realized what that sounded like. Control the assets of the characters and then make it so they have mermaid tails or siren tails. There was one song going around about sirens at the time. I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an original musical based around the idea of sirens. As an extra twist, they're going to be the bad guys. They're going to be the ones like in the Greek mythology where they drag you down. But also, I leave room for good memories in the future. Has also like separation between the pair of them that Lord Poseidon puts in. Stuff like that. And if people think that sounds familiar, that's because the first song literally describes that process. And that's a song that everyone has heard, right down to people like in the pitch, which we've just been talking about again. Apparently, that because that the cast member whose birthday it is also had a play. She was the one who did Pictures of You, but her director pitched that one. So what happened was, because I went second during that time, everyone else was doing pitches like, oh yeah, this is my play, I want to do this, that, and the other, and then 2 sentences, boom, sit down. I, meanwhile, had not only a full Google Docs pitch sheet laid out, but also to start off with, I just performed that first song because it is the opening that explains the premise of what the sirens are all about. So yeah, that's what happened. And that became a thing that people kept on singing over and over again. It's kind of like the new Harry Potter style in a sense, or at least it was for a while. Then the other songs started coming out and they were also catchy. So it all really came together, and I'm proud of that process at least. And now, because the reason that it never came out as a gacha project was because at the time I was probably working on other stuff, but also I mean, it was that summer that the music. No, it wasn't the summer the music was not coming out. It was a different one. But yeah, the I don't know. It kind of. Wait, no, it was that. No, it wasn't. It was the other summer. Sorry. Puppy Love. That was what took it up, because Pride Month was supposed to happen, and then I know everything just kind of crumbled. And Through Her Eyes started in September, and I was like, you know what, this is what's taking up my time. I'm doing this now. So yeah, that's just how it happens. Either way, so I didn't have enough songs at the time. That was like a big thing. But of course, because this process forced me to write the songs pretty quickly and figure out what it is I wanted them to be, which was, catchy earworms on the level of the first two songs, which existed since 2020, and I've been trying to live up to the expectations of since then. I completely redrafted one of the songs that I had for the series, just because I didn't like the way it was eventually laid out. So and then that became one of the favorites, actually, the song I replaced it with. So things like that. I had fun. I had a lot of fun. And the one regret that I have writing-wise is the fact that because we weren't able to rehearse for that long, Act 2 was sort of barren for me. I want to add a few more scenes, a few more songs as well, to really get the emotions out of the characters. But there's always the gotcha for that. So don't worry, the musical is not the final version of this thing. Now that the songs are written, or some of them are at least, I can go back with full confidence in what I'm doing, and we shall resume where we left off. Now that the weight of that has been lifted from me. Much like the story itself, I can cease to take it all upon myself and open it up to the townsfolk, aka the Gotcha production crew that were with me since the very beginning of that process. That sounds like a very beautiful way to end this video, but of course, I also have to talk about the things that I have seen since then. I've got very little time to do this, so I might go into more detail next Walking Wednesday. But basically, the first piece that I saw this week, other than... Wait, actually, no. You know what? No, I'm not going to talk about that one right now. Sorry. I'm going to save what I've watched for next time. For right now, I am going to talk about the Shakespeare performance that I did. Because the way that the festival's laid out is that 90% is one contribution, or sometimes you can split between 45-45%. We have to do another 10% in something else, in a different area and discipline entirely, a different project. So what I did was I signed up for a fringe piece, which I don't know the difference between festival and fringe piece really, that was supposed to be around the entire building that we were in, rather than just one theatre, and it was several different scenes from several different Shakespeare plays. So of course everyone's playing several different characters and going around, and that was what took up a lot of my my actors. Although the director and I of that piece and I both joked about the fact that we stole each other's actors, because it honestly depends. Because I did take a first year from her Shakespeare thing and brought her over into the one into Siren story. Once I had another the millionth cast member drop out. So yeah, fun times. I just realised that I was supposed to stay down over there because I wanted to do shopping in that area, and I just climbed all the way back up and just undid all of my progress. Great. Fantastic. Which way shall I, I'll just correct it. Let's go this way again. Whatever. I'll work it out. So, yes. I've almost run out of time here. But yeah, I played characters such as Trinculo from The Tempest, Lord Capulet from Romeo and Juliet. Yes, I was in Romeo and Juliet, and I will not be ashamed to admit that as Lord Capulet, I had fun playing the character. And that's because I brought massive, dad energy to him, and also some sort of combination of an old man voice and Lord Melchett energy. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone. But yeah, who else was I? I was Peter Quince. The day before the piece started, we performed it. One of the tutors, who was the same one that kept on kept on throwing curveballs at us in Siren Story, said that we need to work on identifying the framework of the piece, because apparently it needed framework rather than just being in the same building performed by the same people. So we then became the new Mechanicals. We got tired of performing Pyramus and Thisbes alone and decided to do several collections from Shakespeare. Things like that. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to actually, I will suggest that the director put this on a YouTube channel or something, because quite honestly, we're thinking of forming a theatre company together, so who knows? That might become something that we do in the future. Not really sure yet. We kind of just discussed it recently when we were not drunk in a bar, actually. We were both sober at the time. People around us were drunk, and they were contributing, so I guess that kind of counts. But yeah, we had a good long discussion about that and what we wanted to do for that. Combinations of, musicals for all ages and also comedies based around Shakespeare. Fun stuff like that. Again, I like when stuff is fun. I participated in a fun fringe performance, and I made a fun musical. That's what I cared about. People, even though it was stressful, the whole process was stressful, but everyone enjoyed themselves. They were able to get something out of the characters. They were able to bring lots of themselves into them. Like, one person got all the laughs and basically said, oh yeah, no, this person's like entirely based on me. Like, I got the audience feedback of that same thing as well. So overall, yeah, again, it's all about enjoying yourself, especially because it's been so overwhelming. Like, it's one of the reasons that I want to, take a break in education and just take a year out to focus on projects, trying to get my foot into the professional creative industry, and then maybe returning back then afterwards to do a master's. It's one of those reasons, but I'm glad that I did what I did, because I'm in the place that I wanted to be after I ended uni right now. I don't have the degree certificate yet, obviously, because it was performed yesterday. Let's slow down here. But what I do have is